Hey, it's James, Parents' Rights and Resources, hashtag how I got custody. So I want to talk about when a police officer tells you, oh, that's a civil matter, go to family court, and blows you off when you're dealing with a criminal case. So in Washington State, for example, we have RCW 9A.40 custodial interference. So when a parent withholds a child for a protracted period of time with the intent to do it forever or for a long period of time, that's the crime of custodial interference. So someone might call the cops and say, I want to press charges for custodial interference. And these stupid, dumbed down, airheaded, moronic, brainless zombie cops will say, this is a civil matter. Go to civil court. No, you stupid jackass. It's a criminal matter and a civil matter. See, don't let cops, attorneys, lawyers, judges, clerks of the courthouse, CPS tell you something stupid and then you just stand down and let it go. You got to push the issue a little bit more. So if I'm pressing charges like my baby's mom withholds my child for a month, I'm pressing charges for custodial interference. They say, that's a civil matter. Go to contempt. Number one, thanks for the unsolicited legal advice, but that's illegal for you to do that. That's bad advice anyway. So why don't you give me your bar number or give me your police, badge number, because you just committed a crime of practicing law without a license. Second of all, it's civil and criminal. There's civil contempt with the violation of a court order, but whether there's a court order or not, that's custodial interference. And some states have a parental kidnapping law. And usually it has to be, like Michigan, a dad can't keep a kid more than 24 hours because it's assumed the mother has the kid. And in Georgia, those are the only two states I know where they presume custody to a mother when they weren't married, which is kind of bullcrap. But what was the other scenario? I just had another scenario where, somebody was accusing the mother of neglect, and they said, "Well, that's a civil matter. Go to family court." No, you stupid jackass. Now, the neglect wasn't that bad. Like she wasn't, I don't know, she wasn't feeding them every day, or she was, the kid wasn't sleeping in the bed and was sleeping on the floor or something like that. So what if she's stabbing the kid and committing attempted murder or assault on the kid? Would you say, oh, you're in a divorce case or you're in a custody battle, so that's an umbrella that covers over anything criminal, and that prevents her from being charged with anything criminal. Go to civil court with that. No, you stupid jackass. You go to family court for a parenting plan and child support. If there's a crime out there for custodial interference, child abuse, neglect, assault, murder, you still press charges for that. You have to talk to these retarded, dumbed down, airheaded, moronic idiots like they're in third grade sometimes. I had this lady I dated, Lorena Harris, out of Renton, Washington, Lawrina. Watch out, fellas. She keeps 5 to 20 boyfriends at a time. She's using you for money. She gets $2,500 a month for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, and she only has one kid. Welfare fraud, hustler, con, child abuser. Her other 3 kids are gone because she's a vicious child abuser. Bit the neck of her 15-year-old. When I was dating this chick, before I knew how crazy she was, and when you find out how crazy they are, run immediately. When I finally found out I saw the signs, I was an idiot, but I didn't, I really cared and all that other stuff, and was playing Captain Save-A-Ho or whatever. But when somebody does something, well, I got a protection order against her. The cops told me when she violated it, we can't prove that she's the one who called from her phone. I was like, you stupid jackass, do that. And I told the police chief and the mayor and the city council when I reported to my city, who I'm going to sue now. Do you guys not do IQ tests? See, you got to talk to these people like they're the stupid idiots they are. You don't let them blow you off with some stupid claim about some stupid, idiotic perception of reality. So I told them, you can't be that stupid. If there's a car that's abandoned at a crime scene or a gun that's abandoned at the crime scene, who is the first suspect that you go and hunt down and interrogate? The owner. So when somebody texts you details about your life with that person, it's most likely the person texting you for their own cell phone. This stupid idiot says, well, we can't, it's hard to prove whether she's the one who texted you from her phone. You got to be, there's a 0.01% chance that it was somebody else, you stupid jackass. And so I went to a city council meeting. I told them that because I'll tell these cops how stupid they are without, threatening or hemming and hawing at them. I had a client who called me. The cops came to his house. The mother falsely accused him of molestation or abusing the kids. And they said, you need to hand over the kids. We're taking them to CPS. I said, do you have, and then he put me on three-way with them on speaker. I said, do you guys have a warrant? No. Do you have a writ of habeas corpus? No. Do you have probable cause that a crime's being committed? No. Did you see a crime committed? No. It's just we have to take the kids in case something happens to them. Oh, so you have just in case cause. Where's that in the law? I said, if you guys take these kids and place them to CPS, you are giving them 100% times more of a chance of getting molested or trafficked. I said, if you guys are fathers, you're sellout to your own gender and the children everywhere. They ended up taking the kids, but they placed the kid with the mom because I at least woke them up a little bit. I said, you stupid idiot. I said, what if he doesn't hand the kids over to you? You going to arrest him? Okay, so you're going to arrest him and there's no crime and no probable cause. You just admitted that you have an unconstitutional action right here. And so anyway, I confront people like that. And I confronted my city when I was dealing with this Lorena Harris violating my protection order 5 times, and they didn't care to arrest her, even though it's a mandatory arrest. They don't care if a woman does it. They only get Violence Against Women Act money when a man does it. So, and everybody just lets it go and blows it off. I'm going to city council meetings. I'm protesting my city. I'm thoroughly embarrassing the city council, the mayor. I thoroughly embarrassed him when he was running for county prosecutor. Had signs up talking about it and protesting him, and did a video on that. You got to confront these people with their stupidity and put them in check. So when a cop tells you, oh, it's just a civil matter, okay, say, okay, well, if the mother commits murder and kills the child, are you going to say, oh, it's a civil matter, take her to contempt court? Or are you going to arrest her? Well, that's extreme. Well, obviously we would arrest her. Okay, so where's the boundaries? Because you're sitting here saying she's committing child abuse, which is a crime or neglect. And over here is the extreme of murder. Okay, tell me exactly where it is that you'll stop the arresting. Like, okay, murder, stabbing, kicking them in the face, dropping them over a bridge, trying to drown them. Okay, you'll arrest them for that. Okay, when does it get to, slapping them around, committing child abuse, spanking, corporal punishment that crosses the line? Okay, that's when you say go to family court. Okay, how come you don't arrest for this whole set of crimes here? These are still crimes. So from here to here, crimes you will arrest for. These crimes you don't. Now, cops technically don't have to ever arrest anybody for anything. And they're immune from being held accountable for not arresting somebody because, think about it. I mean, let's be honest. Cops cannot arrest everybody that does anything wrong at any time when somebody calls the cops. There's so many laws out there, cops know that they can actually arrest anybody they want at any time. So they're a little gracious on that, but they're stupid jackasses when it comes to a mingling of family law stuff because they don't want to deal with baby mama and baby daddy drama. They don't care. They're callous sociopaths who can't empathize with your situation, just like your attorney. They don't care about your situation. That's why they don't fight for you. So they can't empathize with you. So they're not going to hold somebody accountable when they do stuff like this. That Lorena Harris chick that I was talking about, she bit the neck of her 15-year-old, tore skin off, punched her, and gave her a concussion. That's been mentioned to 3 different police forces, and they don't care. And, she verbally abused those kids. I saw her the last day I hung out with her, the day that I broke it off with her. I saw her slap her 5-year-old upside the head a few times and say, I'm going to F you up. And then body slam her in my SUV when she wouldn't sit down. I said, hey, I almost said her name. Sit down, please put your seatbelt on. It's time to go and get in your car seat. And then she grabbed, because she was standing in between us in the chair. Lorena grabbed her daughter and body slammed her and threw her down and said, get in your seat. I'm going to F you up. I said, you need to calm down. She goes, I'm going to F her up. I said, you need to calm down. And she was a little tipsy. I didn't realize that she put pain meds in her alcohol and mixed it. She gets pain meds for a broken arm that she suffered when she attacked her ex-husband, his wife, and the babysitter at a visitation exchange. And she got punched back and dropped and shattered her arm. She's got screws and a plate in her arm, but she gets pain meds through her free state government insurance that she's still addicted to 2 years after her surgery. So the government in the state of Washington gives her $2,500 a month for an apartment, and she pays $263. She refused to pay 8 months in a row while she's shopping and getting hair, nails, wigs, waxing, all that stuff that girls do to primp themselves up, for her little prostitution gigs to make money out of the table. She refuses to work. And she's been in the same apartment complex for a couple of years now. She owes $5,000 worth of damages because her two-time felon boyfriend that she went back to, who beat her up 3 times in front of her kids and might have molested the 5-year-old. She goes back to him. He broke a window. So it's just such chaos. This lady has a pretty, she's relatively pretty, and for somebody who's been ran through as much as she has. And now that I know that, she's actually ugly to me, but, physically she's relatively pretty and she has a sweet side. So I got suckered like a stupid jackass. But so there's also a warning for those guys out there. I got Seattle area people like, don't touch that chick. But if you, and the last time I served her some court paperwork, because after I got a protection order against her, she tried to get a protection order against me 4 times. Last time I had a process server, she sicked her German Shepherd on him to assault him. The cops don't care. Oh, this is related to a boyfriend-girlfriend thing. And we didn't even have a kid. And they're just blowing it off because it's some more drama. So this chick has been called she's had 30 or 40 calls to her apartment. She did some of them when she bit her daughter's neck. She called the cops and I had the 911 call. And nobody's doing anything about it. I don't know why that kid's dad isn't trying to get charges pressed. Maybe he's being compassionate. He realizes, okay, their 2 daughters ran away from Lorena. They don't ever want to see her. They're never around her, as far as I know. They weren't around her for months at a time. She's psycho. She's crazy. She's locked him out of the house in the rain with no shoes and coat. And so, but these cops won't do anything about this stuff because it's a woman doing it. Usually they're not going to do that. Or sometimes even when a man does it, when I got some female clients, when they're dealing with a narcissist, it's like the demon-possessed cops are jibing with the demon-possessed narcissist. So the good guy or the good gal or the innocent children, and they're not going to side with them because they're all on the same demonic team. Doesn't make any sense. But these are just average, regular folks who become cops. And they don't teach them anything about the Constitution and people's rights. So they violate them all the time because they're stupid idiots. I don't know if they have a more expedited situation nowadays. So these cops are dumber than ever. But, when somebody says something stupid like, oh, you can't prove that that's her on the other end of a text message. I know a guy who got arrested within 3 hours of texting his ex. He got served a restraining order. He was advised by the courthouse clerk if he's going to go quash the restraining order, he has to notify her. He's like, but I can't contact her. And the clerk gave him legal advice to say you need to contact her anyway. And he should have reported that clerk to the head clerk. But you guys don't ever want to follow up on anything. You don't want to get anybody in trouble and thoroughly finish the job because it takes time from your lounging on a recliner and kicking back a bunch of, brews or 40s or whatever. And so you don't have time for it if it's not directly related to defending your case. You don't want to thoroughly hold people accountable. And then everybody turns around and says, why isn't anybody doing anything about it? Because my gender's a bunch of punk-ass lazy bums who, once you get through, by the skin of your teeth, get through your custody battle, you're so beat down and emotionally distraught. You said you were going to file a bar complaint against the opposing attorney, but you didn't. You said you were going to sue the other side, but you didn't. You said you were going to press charges for false reporting, but you didn't. You call the cops one time and the cops say it's a civil matter, and then you quit on never calling the cops again. If we would just keep at it and show half the effort that we do when we're applying for a job or when we're working on our car project or building an extra room in the house or things that we like to do with our hands, if we put half the effort that we do into holding cops accountable or lawyers accountable or people or judges accountable or protesting, we turn this thing upside down in a minute. But you can't get 5 guys together for more than a couple of weeks on any agenda. You got millions of women doing, what's the I'm with her or whatever that feminist march movement was in the summer of 2020. I forget now. There's a famous hashtag, but the whole feminist movement is women getting together and not stopping and not giving up and not quitting until they're totally dominating. You can't get guys to do more than one protest one time. Like I've been with fathers' rights groups and guys get together and they do protests and they're like, the system isn't changing. Yeah, you dumbass. The system has been around for 60, 70 years and is nationwide and worldwide in Western civilizations. You think your one protest is going to undo it? You have to do a little more than that. And then guys just quit because they're too lazy. They got the curse of Adam. And the woman, the curse of Eve, is to dominate and control a man, so they're not going to stop. We're our own worst enemy. So when you're dealing with a cop who says that's a civil matter, confront him and say, this is a crime. Are you denying me my right to report a crime? This is a crime. Just because it's under the umbrella of a civil case going on, that doesn't mean you could slash somebody's tires. You can break and enter into their home. You can destroy property. You can murder their dog. You can beat up their children or murder their children. And so you can't commit parental interference. Stop using that as a covering to blow me off and dismiss me. So confront cops like that. Call them on their BS. And sometimes people, like a cop or CPS worker or somebody, talks to them. Or see, like a CPS worker says, hey, I'm from CPS. You're accused of this. And like, no, I didn't do anything. Well, just let me in your home and I'll take around. And if there's nothing wrong, you don't have anything to worry about. Instead of obeying a CPS total stranger, you should say, well, why do I need to let you in? Where's the law that requires me to let you in? You're supposed to have a warrant to come in. You can't just go, well, I'm with CPS. So? Show me a law that requires me to let you in. This is my home. How do I even know you're with CPS? How do I know you don't got some fake ID and you're a child trafficker? So the first time I heard about somebody confronting CPS was about 20 years ago. This one guy said CPS came to his home and they said, well, we're coming into your home. We're going to look around because you're accused of abusing kids. He's like, no, you're not. Like, yes, we are. Say, you'll be on the 7:00 news tonight after being at the end of a double barrel shotgun. The CPS worker didn't come back again. Some of you will tell that to a total stranger, or somebody selling something on your door and trying to pester you, or Jehovah's Witnesses or Mormons knocking at your door. Hopefully you wouldn't do it to a Girl Scout selling Girl Scout cookies, but you'll tell somebody off when it comes to anything else. But when it comes to some kind of feminist group like the family courts or a cop siding with the mother or CPS, a cop comes over and says, hey, you got the kid, you might as well give the kid over to the mother. Why didn't you do that when I called and said she was holding the child? Well, just do it. You're going to look bad in court. Oh, you're giving me legal advice? Can I get your badge number? I'm going to report you for practicing law without a license. Confront these people. But see, when you know it, see all the stuff I'm spitting off the top of my head, I know it because I read about it, studied it, or when I wanted to learn this stuff. If you just want to half-ass deal with this stuff and you just want to like, oh, let me call James. What should I say right now? Like, tell him this. And then you hang up, and then you have another scenario that's kind of, first you deal with the cops, then you deal with CPS, then you deal with the cops not doing something, then you deal with the clerk at the court. If you learn the basics of everything you need to know, you don't have to call me every time there's a scenario. This is another problem with my gender of being lazy, shiftless bums that just want to have a quickie answer, and you think there's a quickie answer. If you're a mechanic and somebody says, I hear some pinging under the roof or under the hood of my car, I hear a pinging noise. You can't call a mechanic and say, what is that? The mechanic has to go and look at everything, and the mechanic has to understand everything about how a vehicle works, because you might think, I don't know, it's some pistons or, it's something loose that's clanging in there. I don't know. I'm not too mechanically inclined, but let's say you hear a noise, and whether it's a rattle, a snapping noise or a pinging noise or whatever, you can't just ask one general quickie question to get a quickie answer. You have to pay someone to thoroughly look at it. And if you want to learn what to look out for, you got to learn a lot about the video. You don't get a quickie on the surface answer for everything. If you want to be able to protect your children and know how to fight in your own court case, or if you're dumb enough to keep having an attorney that's screwing you over and over and over again, then you're going to want to light a fire into them, but you need to know the law and your rights, or your attorney will check you and tell you to shut up and sit down, and you'll just obey him like a good, docile little obedient servant, instead of you being the boss who's paying him $400 an hour. But the main point of this, I know I'm all over the place, but one thing leads to another. Sometimes people need to hear a tidbit of different areas. Some people get mad, like, oh, just get to the point. Go watch some other free videos. Somebody's going to give you free information these attorneys don't want to give you. Oh, wait, there is nobody else out there. So why don't you just shut your ass up and grow some balls like a grown-up man and have a little patience, because a free 20-minute video that's going to give you golden information that would cost you $400 if your attorney even told you this stuff, and they're not going to tell you that. It's worth you missing out on, a quarter of the basketball game or the football game that you're anxious to watch. Or you can put this on pause and watch it later. There's no excuse for you guys whining and crying and not liking the content of my free videos. I see it all the time. Not all the time, but I see it regularly enough, like, especially on TikTok, a 3-minute video, like, hurry up and get to the point. It's only 3 minutes out of your life, even if I waited till the last part of the video to give you the main point. If you had to wait through 20 minutes of somebody talking to get a map to a treasure of gold, that's 5 pounds of gold, and it's $2,000 an ounce, would you have the patience to wait? Okay, how come your kid isn't worth gold to you? See what a dumbass hypocrite you can be sometimes? I'm only talking to the people who are lazy, whining and crying, that I'm not getting to the point and saying, because my gender is our own worst enemy. I'm giving you guys tools and things like that for free mostly. That you can. I just had another guy. He's been watching my videos. He totally destroyed an attorney in court. I'm going to post a testimony on Instagram. I have a hashtag HIGC for how I got custody. HIGC testimonies or testimony. I got several of them on there. I got people who've never even got a consult with me, and they watch my free videos and they go and get full custody without a lawyer, or they win a contempt hearing without a lawyer. And you're sitting there whining and crying that it takes 5 minutes to get information that your attorney will never even tell you. And you're going to pay your attorney $10, $20, $30, $40, $100,000. And you're pissing and moaning and whining and crying because me, a guy who won over and over in court, takes an extra few minutes to tell you something. When you go to Steph Curry or Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant's basketball camp, do they get up and talk for 5 minutes and say, now go home, you learned everything you need to know? But I'm not even here for those people anyway. I'm here for the 1% of you. Only 10% of you are going to watch a full video because you're too lazy and shiftless to care. And you don't care enough about your kid to sit through a video when you know I know what the hell I'm talking about. You're too lazy to sit through a video to possibly learn something that'll help you win because you want a quickie answer. You want mommy to come and rescue you because mommy was there, cuddling you and tucking you in every time something went wrong. That, dad wasn't there to teach you, drop kick you out there like the eagles do out the eagle nest. Like, you want to learn how to fly? Okay, get out. Go. Do it. Now, humans shouldn't be that callous to other humans, but you know what I mean. There is no quickie, easy answer to this. If you want to learn how to fight the right way, watch. There's plenty of people who told me that. I've watched every single one of your YouTube videos. Some people watch only my TikTok or only my Instagram, which are quickie and incomplete because I can't do a video long enough to thoroughly explain a lesson. I'm going to get some lessons in my store. I have my evidence rules video. That one video is an hour and 20 minutes long. It took me like a week to put that thing together. So it's not easy putting those things together. But you can't learn anything in life thoroughly to understand it. When you learn driver's ed, you don't just hop in a car and drive. You got to study some things about the rules of the road. You got to get some practice. You got to be shown what's wrong. You got to give it a few tries. Just like if you want to be a good basketball player, or if you want to be a mechanic, or if you want to be a doctor, or if you want to pass a class, a math class, you got to go to class almost every day for a quarter or semester, and you have to read the subject matter. And you think that when you go to court, look at a law library. Look in the courtroom. Look at the books on the walls there. You think you can walk into court and just say, hey, I'm a good dad? You automatically get it? You have a welfare mom entitlement mentality. You're in a corrupt system, in a corrupt world, thinking you're going to get automatic rights to something while a corrupt, evil baby mama, or the other way around, baby dad, narcissist is trying to destroy your relationship with your kid. This is not easy. If you want it to be easy, quit and tuck your tail and run like the cowardly simp that you are and stop wasting everybody's time because you don't want to fight anyway. So why bother? If you want a quickie and easy resolution, ask the mother, hey, do you want to settle? Yeah, I'll settle on you getting every other weekend. Well, I don't want that. I want to be 50-50. Well, I'll never give you 50-50. So if you want to fight and grow some balls, go fight. I got all kinds of tools and weapons and information that you won't get anywhere else. If you don't want to absorb that stuff and it's not worth your time, then you don't care and stop pretending you care and save yourself the time, energy, and money. And I even don't want to have a paid consultation with somebody who I know in the end doesn't want to fight. Like I've had people talk to me about, well, how do I know you know what you're doing? My winning court orders are in my link that anybody can see. I mention it. And if you have the energy to lift your finger and click a mouse, and I tell everybody you need to go to my flow page on most of my videos, and you don't do it, you're too lazy and dumb to ever even have a chance to be a parent in your kid's life, and you're showing why you're getting screwed. But for those of you out there who want to fight, who are good parents, and you're getting screwed, and you're willing to fight for your kid no matter what, I'm here for you guys. But you can't whine, punk out, and cry and moan and punk out on some videos because they're not long enough and miss out on information that'll help you fight with your kid. Every piece of information I got, I had to pay with paid consults with the guys who mentored me. And I wasted some money because they didn't know everything. But I'm sitting here telling you guys 100 times the information that was shared with me. And I got full custody of my daughter when she was 7 months old. Why would you not want to listen to every single minute of information? What's more important for you to do right now than to sit here and learn how to fight for your kids and your life with your kids and preserve them? There's people out there that are suicidal because they can't see their kids because they didn't fight the right way in their court case. And you're sitting here saying, well, I'm not going to fight that hard. I shouldn't have to fight for something that I'm entitled to. Neither should the women when they were getting screwed in the early 1900s. Neither should black people didn't have to fight on the civil rights movement. Gandhi didn't have to fight for his causes. The people who suffered in the Tuskegee experiment shouldn't have to fight for reparations and that. The Japanese who got interned in citizens of America who got turned during World War II shouldn't have to fight. But why are you such a punk-ass privileged little diva where you think you don't have to fight for something when there's all kinds of groups and classes of people who've had to fight for something? Who are you? Now, it shouldn't be that way. We should all love one another and be respectful, and we should all be practicing the golden rule and, doing unto others as we want them to do unto us. But that's not the world. Grow the hell up. Act like you're over 12 years old. Now, it's not fun. This whole thing sucks. It's discouraging, but what else do you have to do in your life? If your kids are drowning in shark-infested waters or just drowning, period, and a lifeguard won't help you, and other people by the beach won't help you, you jump in and go get them. You don't say, hey, this is unfair. The lifeguard's getting paid to do this. And he's not doing his job. And while you're sitting there whining, crying, pissing, and moaning, your kids are drowning or getting attacked by sharks. You go in to rescue them. You could do it better than a lawyer can anyway. So anyway, I'm way off on a whole nother tangent. I was sitting here, but the main point was when these cops talk crazy to you, or they say something stupid, well, that's a civil matter, we're not going to bother with it. Or, in Washington, cops are mandatory reporters. So I'm going to complain to every cop that I complained about this Lorena Harris chick beating the snot out of her kids. None of them reported it to CPS. I mean, she did get investigated by CPS, so somebody called, but the other ones didn't. I mean, maybe one cop called. I'm sure it was somebody nearby who saw her slapping somebody or whatever, because she's nuts. But in any case, like when I go to the city council meeting, I saw like 80 people there from my city. Now there's like 90,000 people in my city. So it's usually only a few that do anything. But if you're whining and crying and complaining about the system, shut the hell up if you're not doing anything about it. Do us all a favor and shut the hell up so we can weed through the complainers and find the people who are actually doing stuff. Because you're just getting in the way. You're just being a whining, crying little bitchy little diva. Somebody needs to help me. Somebody needs to do something. You're a rookie. You just came on board 3 months ago in your divorce case, and you're sitting there whining, crying. Somebody needs to do something about this. Why don't you do something about it? The system is only going to change if you do something about it, and a bunch of you people do something about it. I'm sick and tired of, I'm out here protesting. Like I mentioned the guy in my city, the cops came. That guy doesn't want to complain to the cops. He could have $1 million lawsuit. He could write a demand letter. Maybe they'll settle with him outside of court. There's another guy who got screwed even worse. He didn't see his kids for 3 months while he's being investigated for molestation. He just went through trial. And I'm going to expose the detective who told him to stand down and not exercise his visitation. And he wrote in his report that he advised the mother not to give the kids over to the father. So he advised the mother to commit contempt. I'm holding that punk-ass bitch, child-abusing, megalomaniac, subhuman piece of garbage who deserves hell. His name's Detective Letty in City of Federal Way Police Department. Nobody's probably going to know watching this, but I brought up his name in a city council meeting, and everybody in the crowd was like, yeah, like they're all quiet. Like when I walk away, they're like, yeah, they don't want to say anything or applaud or anything, because they don't want to be associated with this crazy guy, but they approve of what I'm saying. Like the average coward, like, wow, what he said really made sense. But you don't want to be out there doing that because that's uncomfortable for your sissy little comfortable feelings. That's the biggest problem we have. Nobody wants to get out of their comfort zone, maybe look embarrassing, holding up a picket sign or whatever. I'm worried what other people think. Everybody talks so much crap on social media, like I don't care what everybody thinks, so I'm doing my own thing. But really, everybody cares what everybody thinks. So anyway, put these cops in check. Don't let them blow you off when you want to report. Like, I think there was another one. The mother falsely accused this guy to CPS or to the cops of molesting his kid and his fiance abusing the kid. He said, well, can I do something about that to the cops? First of all, you don't ask the cops. You demand them to do their job. Now, you don't forcefully do it. You just do it firmly. So, okay, I want to press charges for the crime of false reporting. Oh, it's a civil matter. Go to court. She committed a crime. I want to report a crime. Are you depriving me, a citizen who pays your salary, the right to file a police report when a crime was committed? What are you doing if you're not taking police reports? Now you can set it on your desk all day long, but I want it in there and a record made of it. Can I report a crime? Or do you not understand that this is a crime? Or do you think when there's a civil matter, all crimes disappear? So she can commit murder if she wants, like I said earlier. When you say something with the most extreme, worst, ludicrous example, that's how you make people look stupid. A cop says, because it's a civil matter, I don't have to take a report for that crime. And the crime might be custodial interference, false reporting, child neglect. Okay, so you're not going to take the report of a crime because when we go to family court, that just wipes all that out and it's all covered under family court. Okay, so is murder covered under family court? If she murders the kids, you're not going to take that report because we're in family court? You're going to say go to family court? That would be stupid and asinine. Well, it's just as asinine for you to say I can't make this other criminal report, even though it's a gross misdemeanor or a misdemeanor is down here. You can't only take reports of felonies. You're not the felony cops, are you? You're just police who enforce the law. Felonies, misdemeanors, gross misdemeanors, Class A, Class B, Class C felonies or whatever. So confront these cops or CPS and don't let them weasel their way out of taking a report.